Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is the weekly updates. As always, very first link down below is Weekly Shonen Jump. Please check it out. Oh no, I fucked up the hand sign. Well, despite that, I do hope you do in fact click on that link. We finally caught up on Show-ha Shoten, so that's two whole new reactions in there. Honestly, I do think having them both combined was probably better than doing them separately. It was very, 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 very satisfying, especially, where we are right now. Like, we are coming up to the end of this arc, but that just increases the tension. I'm so curious to see what happens. I mean, you'll see in the reaction, but, like, we've been there for a while. Just the inherent tension of having the villains go last in a competition thing like this. It's the Food Wars dynamic. If you go last, you win. And they're designed, as a group, as far as we know, to like excel when they go last. So can our boys succeed? Oh, but I mean, I'm glad that they themselves performed like crazy. They were so fucking good. Holy shit! Holy shit! One Piece banging. It's so interesting, like getting a reveal like the one we got because like. Hearing everyone talk about it and whatnot, I was pretty primed for what I thought it might be, like, even a few weeks ago. And yet, it's still very, very, very hype. Getting another, big moment, big potential new character in the arc. Apart from those, Elusive Samurai continues to cook. The Tokiyuki Bowl is unlike any other bowl in history. Truly, 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 truly. I'm so excited to see how, like, what next chapter is gonna be. What the fuck are we discussing? But I think truly the big star this week was Star of Beethoven. Great, great, great first chapter. Super interesting. It really, 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 how do I put it? Like, I just don't think I'm very into Embers. I think part of that is every time we get a new batch of series, I feel like I forget how I reacted to the previous batch of series. I feel like I've forgotten, like, oh, what is a first chapter like? Because Star of Beethoven is so gripping. It's so good. It is actually very unlike a lot of Jump chapters in that it is very mystery focused. It is very like, we are building up the intrigue of what happened. What is the situation? Why is our main character in the situation he is? But not necessarily, like the big hook of the series. The big hook of the series is something a bit different. That is something we may explain, we may not explain. But yeah, so good. I also forgot that Beethoven was deaf. Insane. Very tough thing to admit. I genuinely, I think it was because, like, on the cover, like, his eyes here are, like, they look like the traditional eyes that you draw on a character when they're blind. And so my immediate, like, thought was, oh, right, what was Beethoven's disability? I guess he was blind? That doesn't sound right, but I'll go with it. And then it wasn't until we were in the chapter that I was like, right, fuck, he was deaf, right, that was the deal. It doesn't help that, as I say in the reaction itself, my most recent connection to Beethoven is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra's concept album Beethoven's Last Night, in which he is engaging in dialogue in a lot of it. And so that one does hammer home the fact that he is deaf. And yet, in the songs themselves, for the sake of the back and forth and the repartee and whatnot, he's not really deaf. Oh, and here as well, I think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Very excited. It definitely feels it's got a little bit of that Hikaru Go. It has a little bit of that. I'm hoping some of the the weirdness of musicians that PPPPP managed to capture. Like, not necessarily the the imagination realms in the playing or anything, but just there's something about that devotion, about that putting all of yourself in this thing that is expressive but is also not like a fundamental thing you need to live. I think it's possible for a music series to do really, really, really well in Jump. It has to stick. Like, I feel like there's no way the series gets to its end because of the way Jump is. Like, at one point or another, for the sake of building tension and properly developing characters, it's gonna get a little slow, and I feel like that's going to be when Shueisha goes, we gotta cut it. If PPPPPP had the run that it did and then still got canceled, so late into it, I really don't have any hope for any others. Like same with Robot Laser Beam. Like the fact that it got cut really meant that when I was reading Green Greens, I couldn't be satisfied with it. It was the most like, well, I know something bad's gonna happen. That's Jump, baby. Well, that's that. I'm putting this out a bit too late for my liking, but it's been snowing like crazy. If you're in America, you're probably feeling it as well, unless you're in California, in which case it's on fire. Sorry about that. But because of that, yeah, I'm probably not going to do much else besides the jumps this week and next week because we are getting a fuck ton of snow, and I've got to shovel that shit. But still having a great time. Thank you, everyone who is active on the server. You are making my life a delight. If you are starving for content, please check out Donut's channel. I plug it every other week, basically, but it's great. He's currently doing Astro Boy, finally. He's been recording Astro Boy for like half a year now, in all honesty. I'm very into Tezuka myself, and so he wanted to like start at the start. He loves to start at the start, and I was like, well, you can't do that with Tezuka, sorry. But the closest you can get is Astro Boy, and so he's recorded like I don't know how deep in he is because also he's doing it chronologically, which is not the way that any English release has it, which is an interesting situation as well. But I would highly, highly suggest watching those reactions. It's very fun. They're not like super exciting. I'd say they're way more like just they're very chill. It's like watching someone else watch The Twilight Zone. Like like the twists are interesting and there's a lot to like think about and talk about, but they're not like giga hype or anything. But they're still very good. He's also doing Boss of the Brats. I don't think anyone's watching Boss of the Brats. I like it. I really do like it. But every time one of those reactions comes out, I immediately go, okay, not watching that one. And then I watch it eventually, and it's always good. The series is really good. Like his takes on the series are also really good. I don't know what it is. No one gives a fuck about Boss of the Brats. And it's not it's not, the fact that they don't recognize us. Like, give me a second. Please indulge me, yeah? Also, apologies. I have a bit of a cold from all of the shuffling. Oh, there we are. Donuts. But, like, if you look at the views, yeah, like, no one's heard of Legends of Skilled Mahjong Players, but each one of those has more views than, actually, to be fair, holy shit. The most recent Otsuko Ipiki, or Boss of the Brats, like, is at 19 views. It beat Endo the Rep Player, a single chapter of a Fukumoto series. But yeah, like, looking at the views, like, everything does pretty well, including stuff where it's like, no one's ever heard of this, or like, you gotta be like a deep Fukumoto fan to give a fuck about Atsuze Tenma. And yet, like, like a lot of his like more popular stuff, it's ranging from like, the like the low 30s, 40s to up to like 100 plus. But for whatever reason, like, yeah, even Shameless School, something that doesn't seem to be very well known, still gets a lot of attention. Boss of the Brats, though, no one gives a shit about it. Oh, it's so interesting. I mean, he has definitely a charisma and a like magnetism that I definitely don't. I mean, if we look at the views on these are the redirects. So to be fair, you have to like jump through a hoop in order to watch these things. But like, my God, all of these, the people who actually click through the redirect to get here and then watch enough for it to be considered a view. Yeah, I'm in like the 30s and 40s. Oof, oof, oof. But like the redirects like regularly get around like like 50, 60, 70, sometimes even 100. So yeah, there's an interesting disparity there. I don't know if it's because people are clicking on it and then like giving up, or are they clicking through and then just not being counted? I don't know. Nevertheless, I appreciate everyone who does in fact watch these videos. Even if you just watch the redirect and you go, all right, that's enough Thermite for this week. I'm done. All I like to watch are the redirects. I hope you enjoyed this redirect. Anyways, we're starting to spiral out, so I will skedaddle. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'll see you next week for next jump. Hopefully I'll put it out earlier than Thursday. Bye for now. Yeah.